What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. So today's demo video is going to be for a new and upcoming offering from Jawas Junkyard called the Odins Anniversary. So this is the Odins Anniversary from Jawas. This is the new version of the Orgus Din type of hilt from Leon over at Jawas Junkyard. This one is a little bit more install friendly. So from an installer standpoint, a few things are a little bit easier, make the install a little bit easier, mainly these switches, right? But other than that, it is a very beautiful hilt. I would like to go over some of the changes that were involved between the old version of this hilt and the new one. And we will also talk a little bit about the install. We're going to come into Fusion, talk about the chassis and all of that good stuff, right? So anyhow, with all of that out of the way, let's come into Fusion. All right, so here we are in Fusion. This is the chassis that I designed for the Odins Anniversary. Now, for this particular install, I wanted to keep some of the original design cues that were in the old chassis. I wanted to carry those over to this version of the hilt. Because of this version, we do have this same window in the grip, right? So I wanted to utilize that window for the abalone strip. So in this chassis, much like the old chassis, I do have a window here for an abalone strip. I wanted to put something a little bit more elegant and organic into this chassis design to go into that same Old Republic design aesthetic, right? So that is what this window is for. Along the other side of the chassis, we do have some greebly work. There are two rectangular LEDs as well. And then along the spine, we have this giant space for neopixel strips. Now, this particular install is actually going to Leon. This is the production sample, and this will be going back to Leon. And he actually did have a request to utilize some of the cutouts in this grip for shine through, right? So this grip it is a brass inner sleeve, okay, and then above that we do have a wood veneer, but there are all of these slits in the grip itself, and they allow for some very unique shine through, right? So on this chassis, there is that window for 2020 neopixel strips. So I have two 2020 neopixel strips going down this spine here, and in front of those two strips I have a strip of mylar to help with diffusion. 28mm speaker down here. Our kill switch is up top. Around the other side, we do have our Profi board. This is a Profi build. And on board the chassis, we have our spots for switches, right? So for this new version of the hilt, the greeblies in the grip are actual plunger switches, right? And that is a welcome change between the old one and this version. The old one did not have switches in the grip. It did. Sorry, it did. They were magnetic plungers. I don't typically call those switches. I call those a pain in the ass. But with this new version, we have actual spring plunger switches in the grip, and that makes it a little bit more reliable as far as a switch install goes. So those two windows on the chassis are where my brass hat tactile switches go, okay? And the entire chassis is married up into the hilt with a set screw. I did add a set screw in this hilt just to secure the chassis, right? But that's it. Static chassis, plenty of room for a board and a battery on top of one another. There's, I think, like 30 or 31mm on the inside of this hilt, so plenty of room to play around with, right? But that is it, right? Let's come up top. All right, so here it is. Hopefully this is a little bit better. I know I've heard all of your concerns and criticisms about this up top shot up here with this new light box. I'm hoping that with a little bit of a better camera, I can tweak some of the exposure settings, because I actually do really like the way that this looks. But if this up top camera is still washed out, I might have to forego that and just stay with this side camera, right? But anyhow, here it is. Okay, this is the Odins Anniversary from Jawas Junkyard. Very, very beautiful hilt. Very nice organic design cues to go in line with that Old Republic look, okay? Now, the differences between this one and the old one are very subtle, but welcome changes, okay, in my opinion. First of all, with that old version, we had a wood veneer that was shipped not shipped separately, but it was separate to the hilt. So you essentially had to attach the wood veneer yourself, and doing that is a little bit of a pain, okay? If it's not done correctly, the wood veneer can crack. So with this new version, they will ship with this wood veneer already attached, okay? So we've got what is essentially a brass, the whole body of the hilt is brass, everything is brass, but this internal core of the grip is a brass tube, and then over that is this wood veneer, okay? And this wood veneer does have cutouts in it, and that goes through the wood veneer as well as that brass core. So you get an opportunity to have some really unique shine through in your chassis with those slits, but a very, very unique looking grip, all right? The whole body is brass. Even this shroud up top is brass as well. It does make it a little bit hefty up top, but it is a very premium feeling hilt because of all of that brass, in my opinion. And then, of course, these greeblies, right? So these greeblies are actual spring-loaded plungers, and they will act as your switches, okay? But that is it. We also have a cutout up here in the emitter as well to give some unique shine through, but a very, very unique upgrade and change to the original version. One of the subtle touches that was my favorite of this new version is in this emitter, we've got a almost like a clear acrylic ring, this orange ring here, and that has holes underneath it, so you get some shine through even in this ring when there is a blade in. And I thought that that was a very, very cool touch. Very cool and unique touch to the hilt, okay? But other than that, let's talk a little bit about how to use this guy, okay? So this grip will unthread. Go ahead and take that grip off and we'll get a look at this chassis. So here is the chassis. I did a pass of pewter and black rub and buff on this chassis. Around the other side, there is that abalone strip. As I said, I wanted to keep that as a design cue in this chassis as well because I do like the way it looks, seeing it through that window in the grip, okay? And then on the other side, we've got those two rectangular LEDs, and then here's that massive 2020 neopixel strip, right? There are two of those along each side. We'll get a good look at that when we put a battery in it. Let me get a battery. All right, so this will take a button top 18650 battery. Spring side is your negative, that is down towards the speaker, okay? So there are those two rectangular LEDs lit, and then around back we've got those two 2020 neopixel strips, okay? All right. So once you get your battery in, you can put your grip back in place. Be mindful of those switches. And then you're ready to go, right? So there's that really unique shine through we get in the grip. Okay, in those slits, you can also see those two rectangular LEDs a little bit as well. And then up top, this is probably not going to come out on camera. Let me get a different blade style. This ring is lit as well. I really, really like that. Okay, because this is going to Leon, I did make a custom blade plug for you as well. You are welcome. Okay. Very unique hilt. Very cool that we get shine through in that grip. Okay. But there it is. That is the Orgus Din from Jawas. Let's come down to the bottom. Okay. We get a better look at that shine through in the grip there. Hopefully this ring, probably when I turn the light out, you'll be able to see that ring a little bit better. Okay. Great sounding hilt, 28mm speaker in there. There's that abalone strip as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and put a blade in it. All right, so I did make that custom blade plug. So here is a look at that blade plug. Okay. Take that blade plug out. This will take a 1-inch blade. Okay, so go ahead and rest your blade on those PCB pins. There is a set screw around the side here that will serve as your blade retention. So I'll back that out. Nice deep blade socket, okay? Tighten that set screw, and we are ready to go. It is a very substantial feeling hilt because of all of that brass, right? Okay. To you, Leon, I have loaded this up with a custom sound font package. Okay. See, we get a look at that ring in the emitter. There we go. I really love this ring here. I think that looks great, given that unique shine through. Okay, let's do one more. And then, of course, our shine through in the grip. Right. Loud hilt. Let's do one more. Okay. All right. But that is it. That's the Odins Anniversary from Jawas Junkyard. Very, very nice looking Orgus Din hilt. Okay. So that is all I've got. If anyone has any questions about this particular chassis or anything really, please do not be a stranger. This chassis will be offered on my website from here on out, so if you're interested, you can purchase it there. But that is all I've got, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.